Hello, welcome back to my studio. I hope you're well. In the last episode I showed you how I finish off my resin teacups and how I finish off the edges, and this one I'll be showing in an upcoming exhibition in December, so if you're local you can pop in and see that one hanging up in a group exhibition. Today I thought I'd show you how I begin the teacups, and the first stage is going and sourcing this MDF board that I seal. I mount these pieces on the back for a couple of reasons. One is to help hold it up off the surface when I'm pouring the resin on. If there's any drips, I can access them to wipe them up, and it also is easier to stop it sticking completely to the table. And the other reason is when it's hanging, it sits off the wall a little bit, and when the light hits the side of the resin you can get these really lovely reflections, and it creates a little bit of shadow behind, so it's just another really lovely little simple effect you can get by just mounting your work off the surface a little bit. The other thing of course is sourcing the teacups. I've have done a video before on the teacups, but basically I get them from op shops, garage sales. Sometimes they're new, like this one is one I sourced in England, new, and then I get my studio assistant to cut them in half for me, and most of the time I have the handle on, but I do also try and use the other side of the cup, and I just paint the handles in. The other thing you will have seen is the paper that I put on the board first, and that I use these Kaisercraft papers. They come in books like that, and there's lots and lots. I've pulled out the best ones out of these books, I think, but if you follow me on Instagram you'll see, that went a little bit quick, if you follow me on Instagram you'll see in my stories and posts that I've put on samples of those. And so on this piece I've got two papers here where I've ripped this paper so it looks like perhaps the original wallpaper. That's what I'm going for, a wallpaper look, so that this may have been the original wallpaper and this is what's been placed over the top, and that's peeling off and showing that. So it's all about the layers of time, connection to the past, you know, the vintage, not that this is a vintage cup, but it's based on that, the vintage and the history of how many people may have drunk out of that cup, and sharing stories over a cup of tea, and just the whole whimsical nature of pattern, colour and flowers. Yeah, beauty. So let's put some music on and get painting, and I'll show you how this then develops into the first layer before I put the resin on. Okay, so there you have it. That's how I do the first layer. So that was the resin going on at the end. And when I mix up the resin, I tend to do about 4 pieces at once. So here's a few more that I did on the same day. Let's see if I can, because the teacup's not attached of course yet. That's one. Another one. Of course, once the resin is on, the teacups are held solid, but until then they're only held on by the paint. And this one's a little bit different to what I normally do, but because of the pattern of the paper, whoops, we've lost a little bit, I didn't want to cover that with a tablecloth, so I've hung this one up. So I'm really excited to see how this one turns out. I'll have to think about how the flowers go in that cup. But yeah, that's the very first layer of teacup painting. And so when that layer of resin that I've poured on, when that cures, and it'll be hard cured in 24 to 48 hours, I will put the next layer on, which is generally some stencil work, maybe some more of these inlaid papers that I make. There's also a video about how to make these in the repertoire. And yes, you can go back and watch that. And I've also, a couple of videos ago, have shown you how I finish off the pieces. So yes, beginning, end, in the middle. Join me for more fun. See you next time. Bye.